There are 31 nights till Halloween, which means these are the 31 nights to watch horror films. This is 31 Nights of Halloween.
In the Mouth of Madness is the third installment in John Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy. The first being The Thing, the second being Prince of Darkness, and the third being this movie, In the Mouth of Madness. Now, it was kind of difficult to decide which movie I wanted to put on the 31 Nights of Halloween because I like all three of these movies, but I couldn't fit them all on the list, so I decided to go with In the Mouth of Madness because it's the most palpable one for younger audiences out there that wouldn't necessarily enjoy sitting through a longer film like Prince of Darkness, where all the good stuff happens in the third act. This one, there's good things that happen throughout the entire film. It builds up, and then actually kind of the third act kind of slows down and is not as good as the first two acts. Well, what's In the Mouth of Madness about? In the Mouth of Madness is about this sleazy insurance investigator who works for this firm who's just about to make a big payout because this publishing company's biggest author, Sutter Kane, has gone missing. And he was supposed to turn in his final novel to be released. So they cashed on the insurance because nobody can find him. So the insurance company tells John Trent, played by Sam Neill, to go and investigate and see what's going on with this Sutter Kane thing because they don't want to have to pay out this huge sum of money. While John is being told about this situation involving Sutter Kane, all of a sudden a man comes through and breaks the window at this diner where him and his boss are sitting eating. The man looks at Trent and says, "Do you know Sutter Kane?" And he's just looking like, what the hell, what's going on? I just heard about this guy. Although Sutter Kane's this big famous novelist that's made this publishing company billions of dollars and is bigger than Stephen King, Sam Neill doesn't know about him. So Sam Neill's just hearing about this for the first time, and now he's hearing another crazed person talk about him. Trent goes to the publishing company and speaks to the head honcho, who's played by Charlton Heston, and Heston informs him that basically, no, I don't know where he is, and I've heard you met his agent. And he goes, what? What are you talking about? He goes, yeah, the guy that tried to kill you is Sutter Kane's agent. And he's like, what the hell? He's convinced, though, still, even after all this, he's convinced that this is all a scam to pump up sales. Through his investigation, Trent discovers that the covers of Sutter Kane's novels all draw out a map. And in that map is a town. And I forgot where it's located exactly. But that town is the town in his books that's supposedly a fictional town. Trent decides to take a trip down to this town, and all of a sudden, the publishing editor decides to join him. This is where they discover that everything that Sutter Kane has written about has become real. This town exists even though it's not supposed to exist. These characters and these people that he created exist, and these creatures that he talks about in his stories are real. And this starts messing with John Trent's mind, and he starts wondering if he's going crazy or if he can actually believe what he's seeing or what's going on here. He doesn't understand. He thinks all this is a big sick joke on him, and that's where I'm going to leave it from there. Like, we already see what happens to John Trent in the beginning of the movie, and then so we know where he ends up, which is in the insane asylum. But he tells a story, and then we see everything, which is also interesting because when we first introduced to John Trent, he is put in his little padded cell. And all of a sudden he sees a shadow of a man, and he turns around, supernatural stuff, and he sees like this shadow man, and then he forms into somebody that we don't know, who is Sutter Kane, but we don't know that. And John Trent goes, "This is a terrible way for it to end," and he goes, "Well, this isn't the end. This is the beginning." And then we get the whole movie. So in Sutter Kane's final novel, John Trent is a character in the novel, and on top of that, he finds out at the end of the novel that the world ends, and these creatures, these godlike creatures that have been around for eternity in the Sutter Kane novel universe, are going to take over and destroy Earth. So finally, at the end of the film, because the whole time in the movie he's not agreeing or believing any of this, at the end of the movie he finally believes it, and when he tries to tell people, everyone thinks he's crazy, and that's how he ends up in the cell. And then he's like, "I'm not leaving anymore." It's a really cool and interesting story. It's not like your normal John Carpenter movie. In fact, he didn't even write this movie. It's written by my arch nemesis, Mike DeLuca. And I would say that he's my arch nemesis only because he wrote a majority of the Freddy's Nightmares, season 1 at least. I don't know about season 2, but Mike DeLuca's all over there. Mike DeLuca. So that he's my arch nemesis for that reason. But no, he wrote this, and I like this movie a lot. Like I said, yeah, I highly enjoyed this film, and I liked And I think this is the most interesting style for John Carpenter. I think it's a totally different style of his previous films, and it's probably his best film in the 90s. When Quentin Tarantino talks about directors that lost their mojo later on in their career and they keep making garbage, he's talking about guys like John Carpenter in a sense, because John Carpenter's films, my goodness, this is his. I don't. I haven't looked at his IMDb, but my memory is like this is probably his last good movie. Oh, Vampires isn't bad. Vampires is okay. Village of the Damned, Escape from L.A. Then he has Vampires, which is a good one, and then Garbage, Ghost of Mars is like the worst. I saw that in the movies when I was a kid. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the hell is this? Then he did The Ward, another piece of garbage. So yeah, his last films were pretty terrible, and that sucks because he did great films. He did many great films, like In the Mouth of Madness. This is one of his best films. This is a supernatural horror film that has a lot of really disturbing imagery. Saying like you don't see this kind of imagery from John Carpenter since The Thing. And it's not as good as The Thing, but the imagery is really disturbing. When there's a little fucking John Carpenter riding a bike in this movie too. But anyway, this is a great film. I really do like this movie a lot. I like Prince of Darkness a lot too. You should definitely watch all three of these movies. Let me know what you think about In the Mouth of Madness in the comment section down below. Remember, guys, to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.